My message is, the danger is ignoring the problems of job creation and the problems that the workforce has. They're presenting themselves as architects. Well, the real world architects are the bricklayers, the plumbers, the electricians, the neighborhoods where they live. And they're not getting a fair deal at work. And the UN Global Compact and the business community has to wake up to the feelings of anger and frustration and unrest that's out there. They feel disenfranchised, their voice is not getting heard. It's a very difficult place for them and for the trade union movement to try and get a seat at the table where we can talk our sense of what the common good is all about. There has to be a change in behavior. There has to be a change in the parameters in which they make decisions. We still see short-termism, that when you meet a CEO, we meet them frequently, they're spending most of their time in investor roadshows from Frankfurt to New York to London, trying to convince the investment community that they're on track in terms of their rate of return and the profits for the year. That means that they are more interested in keeping that crowd quiet and content as opposed to trying to lift standards. It's a private equity world. And when we did our work on rates of return, we're looking at rates of return of 15–16% per annum in a world economy which is not even growing. Therefore, this is completely unrealistic. This drives behavior, short-term behavior, cutting corners, taking unnecessary risks. That's why the financial crisis happened, and we still haven't got it right. Government has to take a stand, regulators have to take a stand, people have to take a stand, and trade unions have to take a stand to try and change the rules of the game. This is about changing the rules of the game. We're beginning to see progress at the G20. We were at the G20 in St. Petersburg recently. The G20 decided that they wanted to see inclusive growth, they wanted to see income growth, they wanted to see better quality jobs, they wanted to see better corporate behavior. They said this in Pittsburgh and London when the financial crisis ripped, but what we need to do is see action. We've all been drugged by this idea that the market knows best, that we don't need to be regulated. The opposite is the truth. We have to be as exigent as the financial markets are on a CEO doing his roadshows in terms of the values and in terms of the goals that these companies have. They talked about the common good. We're seeing profit, 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 profit. It's not about the common good. There's nothing to fear. A lot of it is ideologically driven. A lot of it is not understanding the role that we play. We have to deal with someone like Walmart. It's the world's largest private sector employer. 2 million people. In the United States of America, there's not one single collective agreement. So they champion this business model and they want others to emulate it. And we're telling them, no, this is the wrong way. What we're trying to do is to convince business leaders that you need a global agreement with the labor movement, which is in the sense of the Ruggie principles about business respecting human rights, that you enter a process and we can help you solve problems. They look at us as problem makers. There are problems there, but we come looking for solutions. They won't find this in the board of directors. They need other voices that need to be heard. We're organized, we're representative, we got something to say, and we can improve the common good if they're prepared to give us that space. So stop the union busting and stop this old-fashioned language that we don't belong. Why do they do this? Because the founder said he would never have a union, that the family members make up the majority of the board, that they would never recognize a union, that they would fight a union. And around the world, what we have done in the retail sector is to negotiate social partnerships with business. We engage, we talk about reward, we talk about working time, we talk about pensions, we talk about customer satisfaction. Walmart feels that they have a principle, no union. But what we have done at UNI Global Union is to organize Walmart around the world. And we talk to local managers, and they have seen that their businesses are successful, and that we work together. It's bigotry, it is ideological, and it's not good business sense. And I don't want other business leaders to see them as the model to follow. It's the model to avoid.